questions. We're on. Do you go by Annabelle or Anna, or what do people call you?
Annabelle. Well,
Annabelle.
in the States, here people really struggle with it, so maybe AB is fine.
Awesome. Awesome. So Annabelle Huang. Did I say that right?
Correct. Yeah, that's very good.
Perfect. Well, it's awesome to have you on the podcast. Welcome. Thanks for, making the time because I know it's super early for you there.
Of course. No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we kind of jump into all the things I guess we want to talk about today, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background so the audience can have a little bit of an idea of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So I was actually born and raised in China. Went to the States for college. So I studied math and finance at Carnegie Mellon University. And
Hmm.
afterwards, I started my professional career on Wall Street, where I worked as a FX and rate structuring person in Deutsche Bank and also Nomura in New York. And then in 2018, I joined fellow CMU alums to start building a decentralized exchange on Ethereum.
Hmm.
And because I really believe that blockchain technology can really revolutionize technology and finance as we know it. So, being in traditional finance for a few years and really seeing the macro markets for what it is, and then really seeing the technology, the blockchain technology for how it can really grow. So, I was at AirSwap, the decentralized exchange, for a while, but then DeFi was still really early at that stage. It was
Hmm.
hard to get liquidity, hard to get users, hard to get mass adoption, just because the underlying tech is still pretty nascent, and the UI UX was arguably pretty difficult at that point. So, and that was around the time where I met the Amber Group co-founders in Hong Kong. And then, we all came from a similar background, born and raised in China, went to school in the States, and then worked in Wall Street for a few years, but then really saw blockchain, the future of crypto finance. So I really clicked with them and then decided to join them, and being at a more global platform at the intersection of both CeFi and DeFi. So yeah, and then been with Amber for over a year now, and then really grew with the company too, from more of a kind of like finance mindset to more of a product mindset with all the product efforts we're building now.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like you moved around quite a bit too, huh?
Yeah, just always looking for the new exciting thing, I suppose.
Yeah, what drove you to want to be in this space? Like, was there like a single moment in time where you thought, "Oh, I want to work in blockchain," or I want to do this or that, or was it just kind of gradually interest over time, or like what got you into it?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think back in college, a lot of my friends studying computer science, they were the ones who introduced me to the idea of Bitcoin, blockchain actually, and they're like, "Whoa, look at this distributed ledger, distributed system is so cool."
Mhm.
And then I took a look and I was like, "Wow, from a game theory and economic standpoint, it's really fascinating, right? How do you get um, build a truly trusted system and having everybody participate in it in a in a honest way?"
Mhm.
And I guess that's the math and the finance part of me that saw Bitcoin uh, for its value in that sense. And then, but then I never thought that I could pursue a career in blockchain or crypto back then full time. My
Mhm.
tiger mom would probably not allow that. So I went the traditional route and worked in finance to start, and I really um, appreciated that platform, right? Being at a big global institution, big bank, and then my clients were big private equity firms, hedge funds, and big U.S. corporates, and then taught me how traditional institutions work. And I think that's really helpful and insightful for what I'm doing now.
Mhm.
But then I think after a few years, I just started wondering, I think traditional finance is great, but then um, I think the in terms of growth and opportunities, it's rather limited in a sense that I probably have to stick around for 10 years before I make managing director, and the path is really clear. And then I just wanted to try something different. And then that was at the time where a few of my CMU alums reach out and say, hey, are you interested in blockchain or in Ethereum or in decentralized finance? And for me, those are really new concepts. But like I said, right, I think it's a great combination of finance and technology.
Hmm.
And then and I wanted to get into the crypto world um, first from a underlying technology standpoint, right? From Ethereum layer one, more on the tech side, as opposed to kind of treating crypto as just another asset class to trade, like how I traded FX.
Hmm.
So that's why I joined AirSwap, and then really got involved in the early Ethereum community and the early DeFi community, and and last year during the DeFi summer craze, it was just so funny. I'm so glad to see that actually, it didn't need long before DeFi found product market fit and more community mindshare. So that was great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time to be in the space because you got the technology like really converging with like DeFi and all the things you can do with finance on top of blockchain. So it's definitely a good time to get in the space and combine your past talents and stuff with where you want to be.
Exactly. Yeah, just so many possibilities in this industry, in this field. That's why I think we all love it, right?
Mhm. Yeah, so many possibilities. It feels like it can kind of like touch just about every industry, which makes it really fun because like everyone can get involved with it. Everyone can kind of learn and be a part of the community. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely very,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Very interesting technology. That's why I'm in it too. um, but yeah, tell me about Amber Group. Like, what do you guys do exactly? I know you guys are kind of like in finance and stuff like that, but like, I don't really know the details. So yeah, tell me a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So Amber was founded in 2017 in Hong Kong, and it was started more as a prop shop, right? Just trading crypto using machine learning technologies and different strategies. And then we organically grew into other business lines because our clients or investors or other friends in the industry asked if we provide liquidity services, just because we really build the infrastructure and the expertise in that. So we added other business lines like treasury management, asset management, trading, look liquidity provisioning, including market making for different token issuers or for exchanges,
Hmm.
um, basically anything within the secondary market in crypto. And then we primarily serviced institutional and high net worth individual clients. For example, like I mentioned, right, the crypto VC funds, the miners who need liquidity, and um, a lot of the family offices who are interested in crypto pretty early on, actually. Um, so that's kind of our bread and butter. And in 2019, we felt that because we used to service our clients with our offline trading desk and sales
Hmm.
person, etc. And then we really see the need to digitize and platformize all our services because people are very used to having a product and either maybe trade within a portal on the web or maybe with an app on mobile. So our first attempt at building a product is Amber Pro, which is a web portal designed for maybe slightly more sophisticated traders or users.
Hmm.
And then on Amber Pro, there is the trading function. There's also the yield product, which is how you can earn interest rate on your idle assets. And then there's also structured products with option linked structures. And then there's collateralized lending,
Hmm.
for miners, other people who needs to lend against their crypto. And then we have execution services where basically it's powered by our algo, and then you can execute with different strategies like TWAP or VWAP to minimize price slippage. And then we offer uh, pretty much all mainstream crypto assets to be traded on there. And then we also saw the need, I think, in 2020. We then realized that we have the ability and also the vision to really make institutional grade crypto finance services available to more people, to a broader range of people, not just institutions within crypto or the high net worth individuals. Because we already have the infrastructure and the expertise set up. Um, so we feel like, oh, if we build a mobile application that's easy to use and more user friendly with more basic functions, then we can really deliver
Hmm.
institutional grade services to more people. And that's why we built the Ember app um, in 2020, and then it was launched in September last year. And the functions are kind of similar to Ember Pro, but the UI UX is more user friendly. And then there's the earn function where you earn interest either on your Bitcoin, Ethereum, or dollar stable coins. And then there is a simple trade function where you can swap assets. And then some invest function where you can, uh, which is powered by our structured products on the back end.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's kind of like our growth strategy uh,
Very
for
cool.
Amber Group, and then very dedicated to keep iterating and building our products this year, and then expanding more globally, and then having more users and just people using our services.
Yeah, I didn't know you have an app, and like I'm trying to pull it up right now. Is it this one,
Yeah,
Amber app, Earn While You Trade, Amber
yeah,
AI Limited? This one?
correct. Yes,
Sweet.
give
I'm
it
gonna
a
play
give it
with
a
this
shot.
tonight.
Yes.
Nice. 4.7 stars. Look at you guys doing well in the Android store.
Yeah, we have Android and iOS, and covering Chinese in simplified and traditional, and also Korean and English.
Mhm. Very cool. No, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I didn't know you guys had an app, so that I guess definitely makes you guys a little bit more dynamic too, having the portal and having the app and everything. And you guys aren't a small thing either. You raised like what, 28 million in a Series A. So
Yeah,
you
yeah, last year.
so you guys are growing too.
Yeah, we are very grateful. We have really the leading crypto VCs in the States participating and leading our round. And I
Hmm.
think really that gave us um, the runway and then the confidence to really go for what we think is needed in space. And we also expanded a lot, right? To in order to build a product, we build the product team, the engineering and design and marketing team, all from the ground up last year, and then
Hmm.
really went out of our comfort zone because while servicing institutions, it's pretty it's a leaner team, right? We have sales and traders um, and that's about it. But now we need to service a much bigger user base. So that was definitely the challenge for us. But
Hmm.
thankfully, right, we do have the resources we need, and that's why we feel really confident going into this route.
Yeah, I can see you guys growing quite a bit because I know DeFi is getting like really popular right now, and everyone's trying to pile in and figure out how they can piggyback on like where this is going and everything. So yeah, I imagine you guys grow a ton over the next couple of years, especially this year, since it seems like everyone, their brothers coming out with some DeFi project or is trying to get into
I
DeFi.
know. I
So like,
know. I know. I think it's just like even mainstream, like Bitcoin adoption, right? Just
Hmm.
the amount of institutional capital inflow we've seen, it's incredible. And then I think it started with MicroStrategy, and then perhaps the high profile hedge fund traders like Paul Tudor Jones last year.
Hmm.
It made a lot of sense for them given the global pandemic backdrop, and then just within the macro markets, right, there are probably um, no attractive yield really anywhere else. And then you're seeing dollar inflation and devaluation, and then what asset class do you really go into? And then
Hmm.
I think people have to find new grounds, and that's why they're looking to crypto and Bitcoin specifically as a
Hmm.
store of value, as an alternative assets for them to add a little bit to their portfolio. And then I think once people on the street started seeing, oh, there was one person who really bought into this, and then everyone started FOMOing, and then and we really see that play out this year, and
Hmm.
it's incredible because I think because of that, right? Institutions are looking at it now. We're getting increase left and right, and then a lot of individual investors are also paying attention and under a different light that given what transpired in 2017, no doubt a lot of people were skeptical, but I think
Right.
now people are thinking about it in a more positive light again, um, and and then yeah, and then also with the development in DeFi, although that's probably for more
Hmm.
crypto native community at this point, but
Hmm.
for me personally, at least, I came from it, and just it's just so incredible to see.
Yeah, it really is incredible. It's cool to see so many big companies and funds that are actually converting their balance sheet, a large portion of their balance sheet into Bitcoin. And I think that's something that's really helped, solidify it as, a 20th century, a 21st century, excuse me. That's a little ways away. 21st century, asset. Since we're really moving into this digital age where, you kind of need something like that. So it's cool to see all these companies put so much of their money and balance sheet like into Bitcoin. And I think that's been good for DeFi too, because it's really raised the question, what else can you do with cryptocurrency? Like how, if we break it down, like what are the liquidity processes? Like what can you do in terms of funding and lending and all these things other than, all the other things you can do on blockchain. That's just one area. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think DeFi is obviously the more crypto native route, right? To combine to bring finance into the decentralized digital assets world. But then, like I said, right, I think it is still for hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around, right? What do you mean a
mhm,
self-custody wallet on a Chrome plugin, and then I have to save enough gas fee for me to transfer my assets everywhere. And then what is liquidity
mhm,
money? I think it goes above a lot of people's heads, but that's why I think CeFi is a good in-between bridge, right? That lets people know, oh, what is blockchain? What is crypto? And then how do you store and transfer? And then once people get comfortable with that, then they can really understand the value of DeFi, because that is, what truly is uh, blockchain native, crypto native, and that's really built upon the idea of having decentralized everything, right? And then I think
mhm,
it's not just DeFi, but decentralized data storage, have you seen, and then decentralized identity, and all of that, right? That is actually quite topical with what happened with Twitter and all that
mhm.
recently. So yeah, I think it's just going to be so interesting.
Which of your guys' services has been the most popular amongst your users? Has it been like the collateralized loans? Has it been other liquidity sourcing? Has it been the wallets? Of all the things you guys have been offering, what's been like the most popular?
It's actually really depends on kind of the user profile. We've seen different user segments, right? There are the um, perhaps the newcomers who are completely new to the space, and for them, um, they're just looking for a place where they can first securely store their assets, and
Hmm.
then for them to maybe to learn more about crypto world, and then to buy their first Bitcoin, right? And then so they like to use Ember app more, and then just to uh, use our simple swap function so they can buy their first Bitcoin, and then saving it in our earn product where they can just earn passive yields and not having to, check too often or do anything too crazy about it. Just kind of enjoy the underlying appreciation of crypto and also earn some nice interest rate on top of it. Then for people who are kind of intermediate, they can choose either to use Ember app or Ember Pro. And I see them use a variety of our products. Still I think the interest yielding earn product is the most popular, just because I think compared to other available services in the market, yielding almost 11% and for a 12-month lockup, that's um, comparatively high return
Hmm.
for the comparable services out there. So I think people like to use that. And for the more prosumer, so to speak, either the active traders or the miners, etc. They like to use the Ember Pro services where they can either lend against their crypto under the loan option, where they can better manage their capital, or they can trade either on a web portal
Hmm.
manually or through our execution services, or we also offer API connections. So for the pros, they can also just trade with API. Yeah, so I
Okay.
think it really depends on the user.
So you got a full dynamic experience there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
For
yeah, with
we
the
just want,
11,
yeah.
yeah, with the 11% yield, or what you were mentioning a few minutes ago, is that like when someone invests money into a set of cryptocurrencies or just into the Ember platform to provide liquidity? Like, where's that money going for the 11% yield?
But you have to subscribe into our interest rate product, and
Mhm.
then it's kind of done on a yield curve basis, where I think 3 months is around 8.5% annualized, and if you lock up for longer term, it's slightly
Mhm.
higher to up to 11% annualized. And then we also offer kind of like the DeFi liquidity mining product on Amber Pro, but that's more um, as a service for people who are a bit too lazy to manage their mining,
Mhm.
liquidity mining process themselves, kind of abstract away the complexity and the hedging needs. But for on Amber platform, right, our product is the Amber Earn, where you have to subscribe into a fixed time deposit and you earn
Mhm.
a passive yield on that. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, in a credit-based economy, 11% is pretty good.
Right? I mean, I pretty much like brought all of my dollar fiat on chain and made it into a dollar, digitized into dollar stable coins, and
Mhm.
then put it in Ember app and just don't have to look at it, and it's much higher yield than what I've earned in traditional banks, right? Because now fiat is all yielding zero these days. Thanks to COVID and all that.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's a pretty nice yield pickup for myself, and I think for a lot of traditional money as well. That's why they're interested in the space, because you do get that structural yield pickup once you
Mhm.
enter into the digital asset world, and there's just so much more room for arbitrage opportunities for
Sure.
yield in general. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about stable coins for a second here, since you're, kind of in finance anyways. We have some honestly pretty shitty stable coins out there, that pretty much are only stable because everyone believes that they are stable at this point. And it's kind of scary when you see like tens of billions of dollars, floating through Tether on a daily basis. And you're like, okay, this is like a ticking time bomb, right? So I guess my question is, from your perspective and from your background expertise, what do you think would make for a better stable coin, or is that something that maybe Amber Group might want to pursue in the future?
I think that's an interesting question, right? I think um, for Tether, right, because they got into the game so early, they have the first move advantage and they
Hmm.
really bootstrap liquidity. And in secondary markets, really liquidity is king. So that's why, it's still widely used, especially in Asia. I think in the US, it's much easier to to onboard with Circle or Coinbase and get
Hmm.
USDC or other more compliant stable coins. But I think for people in Asia, because the off ramp frictions, right? They often opt in to go the USDT route just because the pricing is better and there's more liquidity. But with the I think the suit with the New York AG, we can see that there are a lot of questions that we should be asking, right? It is you for Tether, is it really one-to-one dollar backed, etc.? I think people are seeing that concern, but then, like you said, right, everyone believes that, oh, because so many people are using it, it's not gonna, blow up. But from a trading perspective, from a risk management perspective, and as a trader, I think we are very mindful of that risk. It's quite binary, and we obviously don't want to underwrite that. So at least for Amber, we don't hold any USDT inventory.
Hmm.
Like we have a strict policy, right? We're not allowed to do that. And then on a personal level, right, I'll also opt in for other stable coins instead of them. But I think unless we see other stable coins really catch up in terms of liquidity and just reach within the market. It will hopefully be around, for a while, but people really have to think about their own risk management and think about, are they okay with the fact that, really, if Tether just blow
Hmm.
up somehow? We've seen some of that scares over the years a few
Right.
times, right? But then miraculously people came back to believing that it's still fine after. So I think market has a strange mentality in itself, but I guess just be mindful of the risk. And for your second question about what we need to see, I think it is interesting, right? We have a lot of these private companies trying to go the route of creating their stable coins in the most compliant fashion they can think of, and then but then that's been kind of met with a lot of regulatory um, comebacks, right? That kind of try to restrict that, as we've
Hmm.
seen with Stable Act, etc. And then I'm not sure if it's a great stance to take for the development of industry. I can understand though, right? I think um, because having a reserve, a currency, is probably the most powerful thing the central banks have, right, in regulating the economy. And then
Hmm.
it would be quite scary to kind of yield that power away. So I also get that. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of central banks this year are going to roll out their own digital currency, but obviously still in a fiat backed sense. So I'm pretty glad, or pretty excited to see what comes this year or next in central bank actions, and also in terms of what happens with other private companies trying to go this route as well.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting. So, I mean, I guess the real question is, do you want like a stable coin that's, one to one backed with fiat? Do you want it asset backed or backed to a basket of things? I mean, for a state sponsored currency, I guess they can do whatever they want. But I mean, for most of the world, I guess it's an interesting question with how complex our financial markets are today, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think in a sense, maybe the pandemic really also accelerated that, right? People realize that, oh, we don't need the physical things anymore. We live online, we talk to people over Zoom, right? We don't
Hmm.
even spend money anymore, right? Like physical paper money. We just probably need um we're more used to the digital experience for every aspect in our lives. And that's why I think um, perhaps people are more open to the idea of having a digital currency, whether it is, the likes of USDC or central bank digital currencies, or even more crypto native ones the like the DIs or the new algo.
Hmm.
backed stable coins. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Most people won't take my cash anymore just because of COVID alone. Like I'll try and give them pesos for a coffee and they won't take it. Same thing in the US with dollars. It's getting really eerie. I think we're moving faster than we think. I know
I
China,
know.
is mostly digital anyways, but for us, the rest of the world, we're still a little behind in some places. But yeah,
Yeah,
cash is
exactly. I know when I first moved back to Asia in 2019, I was just like, wow, it's so different here. Right?
mhm.
The user behavior, and then, like I said, nobody takes my cash anymore. Not even like homeless people on the street. They're like, oh no, you better just scam me. I was completely baffled. I was like, this is amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we wrap up, because they're going to kick me out in a few minutes. Stupid COVID thing. They shut all the buildings down like
Oh my
super early now.
God, no.
I know. I hate it.
It's the curfew.
I know they have a curfew and it sucks. But
Uh,
anyways, what does your guys' timeline look like for 2021? Or like, what are you guys planning to do? Or what's on the horizon?
so much. I think within our within the last few months since we launched the Ember app, we already see, to some extent, market validation. We have more than almost 50,000 users globally now, and then our platform has um, around 300 million assets deposited with us just on the Amber app itself. And all of
Mhm.
Amber, that number is close to $530 million, and just really glad to see that. But then I think there's still so much room, so many more products, that so many more services that we can offer. Um, so in 2021, in the first half of the year, one of the new functions or features I'm personally very excited about is our payment and our card function. So we'll be launching our own credit card, Amber Card,
Oh,
sometime within the first half of the year.
that sounds
Yes, and
cool.
I know, and I'm very excited,
How do I get one
because
in can you get it in the
it's
US?
a, yes, yes, you have
Yeah.
to, but you have to probably have a wait list coming up soon, and
Okay, okay.
so
Damn
do
it.
remember to sign up. But I think it really completes the full life cycle within crypto, right? Within crypto finance, you deposit, you buy, and you invest in crypto. You perhaps put it to earn yields. Then you can also spend it, right, as a way to really utilize your capital in that sense. So yeah, that's something we're really excited about. And then you can also kind of cross margin it with your assets on a platform, meaning you can spend first and then pay later. And in the meantime, your assets are still earning yield on the platform. So it's kind of
Mhm.
like spending while you earn. So I'm personally very excited about that. Um,
Well, that's
so
always good.
that's yeah, right. That's one of the features we're working on now. And then uh, we're also just creating a master Amber account for users to use across all our product suites. So you don't need separate Amber app or Amber Pro logins. You just need one master account. You can access all of our services, to making it more seamless and easier for people to use. Um, and then well, me personally, this year, very focused on our global growth strategies. Um, and we want to expand to more geographies, more regions, more of a global reach, um, and offer more languages within our products. Maybe we'll, service people in Japan, or in um, or I don't know, in Europe somewhere, and
Mhm.
then really bring our products and services to more people, because crypto finance should be borderless, should be frictionless, and that's what we really believe in.
Well, it sounds like you're dialed in. Like I'm excited. You got me all pumped for what Amber Group's gonna do. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, you should follow us on social media for the latest updates, and
Yeah,
you're always
what's
happy
your
to
social
share with
media,
you.
and your social media and Amber, if you have it?
Yeah, sure, sure. So, for the comprehensive overview and our product information, you can visit our website at ambergroup.io. You
Hmm.
can also follow us on Twitter at ambergroup_io. And for me, you can follow me on Twitter also at underscore Annabelle Huang. And then also on LinkedIn, um, or any, if you have,
Hmm.
I guess, like Weibo or any Chinese social media, welcome to follow me too in Amber Group. So, yeah, a lot of
Perfect.
exciting news coming up.
Oh yeah, I can tell. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Annabelle, thanks for taking the time to come on the podcast. Really appreciate it. Very excited for what you guys are doing. Awesome getting a chance to talk to you. I know it's early there, so thank you for making the time and
Of
coordinating.
course. Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
thank you, and we'll definitely talk to you again soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you again for your time. It was lovely chatting with you.
Of course, stay safe and stay healthy. See you soon.
You too. You too.